bunny tears. What's crackin' Bunny Wallers? My name is Bunny Tears. Welcome to yet another Black Ops 2 commentary, this time entitled, Why Don't Animals Talk? Now that title is actually pretty misleading for what we're actually going to talk about today, because it's more along the lines of how far in the evolutionary scale are animals or certain animals from the animal kingdom in comparison to us, or if they are in fact behind us in the evolutionary cycle. So, as always, first thing is first, this is a Capture the Flag League play game on Raid. It was myself, Y2 Canyon, aka Tokyo Sex Whale, aka the Grand Canyon, Zeeds, and Mr. Chudley Moore himself. Anyone who has a YouTube channel will be linked below. And this is the first game we actually played as a full team of Express Network. So the team name is Express Network. This is our first League play game. We do end up winning. Sorry for spoiling the surprise. But yeah, it was a pretty good game. It was our first ever game, so I thought I'd put it up. So that's what you're watching. But let's get into the subject. Now, I was speaking with someone on Sunday about animals in general and evolution and how intelligent they actually are compared to what we think they are, or how intelligent we've proved they are. And it kind of gave me the idea to come out with a commentary talking a little bit about animals in general and how intelligent, in comparison to us, they actually are. Because anyone can say a dolphin's an extremely clever animal, it does this, it does that, but at the end of the day, a dolphin has never made a car. A dolphin has never worked out, or tried to work out, the meaning of life. To our knowledge anyway, but how much do we know? The thing that kind of raised this as a topic for me was an animal experiment that I saw. Now, it's not the kind of animal experiment where they rub shampoo into monkeys' eyes to see if they go blind. It's the sort of animal experiment where they try to work out exactly how intelligent these animals are. So, it was an experiment. You may have seen it before. If you haven't, I will try to find a link for it and put it down below. In fact, I will definitely find a link for it and put it down below. So just click on the link below. It'll open up in a new window, or it'll be on screen. Annotation on screen, in fact. Just there, right there, top. I'll make it blue. And it was basically an experiment where they put two capuchin monkeys. Now, these are the monkeys you usually see being kept as pets, even though you shouldn't really, but some people do. So, they had two of these capuchin monkeys, both in glass cages. There was a hole in between the cages, so they could reach each other by hand, but they couldn't fit through this hole. One of the monkeys had, if I remember correctly, it was like 6 nuts in a case. And the other monkey had the tool that was required to open the case. So, of course, one of these monkeys is sitting there just looking at this case, trying to get it open, but he can't because he hasn't got the tool. The other monkey also wants the nuts, so he's looking through, eagerly awaiting this other monkey to open this case, essentially. When they do realize that the tool is required to open this glass case with the nuts in, the monkey with the tool passes the tool through the hole in the cages to the other monkey, who then opens the case. Now, that is impressive on an intellectual scale. However, that wasn't the most impressive thing that happened. After this monkey now has the tool and the case with the nuts in, he opens the case, removes the 6 nuts. He's then sitting there, an animal with 6 nuts in his hand. Rather than keeping all 6 nuts, he understands that the tool was just passed to him by another monkey, so he walks over to the other cage and hands half the nuts over to the other monkey for helping him. This is an idea of fair. This is an idea of, you helped me, now I'm going to help you. If anything, that's as close to human as anything can get. When animals start realizing what's fair and what's unfair, we really need to start thinking about how intelligent they actually are. This is the experiment that kind of got me thinking about how intelligent animals really are. Now, another experiment that's constantly done is sign language on monkeys. Or apes, depends which one. So, sign language. A lot of apes/monkeys have been taught sign language and have been taught nearly the entire of sign language. There are monkeys out there that can pretty much hold an entire conversation with a human through sign language. However, although that's an extreme example of high intelligence and an extreme example of communication between an animal and a human, at the same time, something you need to keep in your mind is the fact that in all of these examples of sign language being taught to monkeys/apes, not a single ape or monkey or animal in general has ever asked a human a question. Ever. They demand things. They can say, I'd like some food. They can say, I'm cold, I'm hot. No monkey has ever turned around to a human and said, what is that? What is that thing there? How does that work? How did you make that? Where can I find food? What is that big bright thing in the sky? A million questions these monkeys could ask of us if they had the intellectual power to actually know that we were above them in the food chain, which I'm assuming they don't. Because if I'm in a situation where I'm surrounded by aliens who are looking around with all of these different contraptions I've never seen before, the first thing I'm going to do is turn around and go, what the hell is that? What are you doing taking my trousers off? That's going to be the first thing I say to an alien race. However, monkeys have never asked a human a question. This brings me to another conversation that I had with a friend of mine. This was on the train back from Birmingham. We had gone up to see a friend, and on the train back, my friend says to me, you understand how people are always talking about what the most dangerous animal in the world is? And I'm like, yeah. And he says, well, think about this. Can you beat a lion in a fight? So I was a bit like, well, no, I definitely cannot beat a lion in a fight. So he's like, right then, so a lion is above you in the food chain. So I was a bit like, well, yeah, I guess so. So he says, well, think about this then. Imagine you could somehow explain to a lion what a nuclear bomb was. What a nuke was. Imagine somehow you were able to communicate with this lion for a second and make it quite clear what a nuclear bomb was. That lion would go back to all of his lion friends and would basically say, yeah, don't fuck with the humans. Don't attack humans anymore. They've got some shit. They've got some crazy shit. So then who is above us in the food chain? Are we above them because intellectually we can reason and take in percentages and chances and work out whether or not we're going to win a fight? Because if there was a war between lions and humans, humans would win. Because we've built things that can help us in warfare. Whereas if it's a war between a human and a lion, just bare bones, the lion's going to win because of evolution and because it's made to survive. That's all animals are made to do, is to survive and reproduce. Now, the very base of humankind is based on the same rules as animals. We are also created and have evolved to survive and reproduce. Those are the two main things. If there was a meaning of life, that would be it. And yet, at the same time, another meaning of life could be to ask questions like, what is the meaning of life? However, life is a very broad thing to talk about. Life isn't just held for humans. It's not just you and me that experience life. Animals also experience life. So when you say what is the meaning of life to an animal, it's very simple, it's very clear. It's to survive and to reproduce. Those are the only two things. And again, yes, that is transferable to humans. Yes, that is where we started and where we'll probably end up. But at the same time, we've brought so much more to the palette of what we call life that I suppose the gap between humans and animals is a lot bigger than I previously anticipated. Because watching a video like two capuchin monkeys understanding fair play and understanding that if more than one of you puts the effort in, then more than one of you deserves to share the spoils, although that pretty much seems like a human. Although, if that monkey could just say a few words, it would essentially be a human. At the same time, there is a vast, vast difference between humans and animals in general. Because, I'll give you a perfect example. There's a type of fly that lays its eggs in a certain sea. I don't know the details perfect, so you'll have to excuse me on this. I've mentioned this before on one of the podcasts, but basically, it lays its eggs in the sea. and the eggs stay underwater until they hatch. When they do hatch, they float to the top. The flies all break out of their eggs and fly out from the sea into the air, where they mate, they land on the water, lay their eggs, and die. The entire life cycle of that fly consisted of them hatching, flying in the air, mating, laying eggs, and dying. Although you don't like to look at it that way, we're pretty much the exact same. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Tell me what to talk about in the next video. I'll make sure to let it happen. But yeah, apart from that, buddy out, bitches! What's cracking, Bunny Boilers? My name is Bunny Tears.